You can introduce yourself.
Okay, hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Farhani binti Ahmad, and currently I've been teaching in Sekolah Menengah Kebahasaan Datuk Ahmad Mahir for about 1.5 years.
And how many years of experience do you have?
Actually, I have been teaching for about 1.5 years.
Okay.
So for that long, yeah.
Okay. So I'll move on to the questions. So first question is, how do you typically use rewards in your classroom? And what types of rewards do you find most effective for motivating students?
Okay. So for me, there are few type of rewards that I have been using in my classes. And for example, I will give the students sweets or praises, or sometimes I will give them money because they love cash so much. But I think the most effective rewards that the students like is sweets. As you know, they are still kids and they really love sweets very much. So when I give them sweets, they will actively participate in the classroom process or in the learning process.
I see. So the second question is, how do you determine which rewards or punishments will be most effective for your students?
Okay, thank you for your questions. So you mentioned about the punishments and also rewards. I rarely or barely use punishments in my class because I don't think that it is what it is the most effective way. But I really like to give my students rewards, as I noticed that when I give them sweets or cash, they will be more active, or they will be more high spirited. And so because they want to get the sweets, even though they can buy it by themselves. But when as a teacher, when you get as a student, I mean, when you get something from your teacher, it will be more lovely, and they're gonna show off the rewards to their friends, like, hey, look, I got the candy from the teacher, and they'll be more happy. Yeah, that's why I think it's not about the price or the value. It's about how the teacher appreciate the students that actively participate in the class.
I see. So my third question is, have you observed any differences in student engagement or motivation when using rewards versus punishments? And could you give me examples?
Sure. So I noticed a few differences between when I give them rewards, such as if I give them some kind of rewards, they will actively participate. Such, for example, they will fight, not that kind of fight, but fight among themselves to answer the questions like, teacher, let me do it. Like, teacher, let me do it. And I have a very hard time to choose which students I need to give the chance. And in my class, we give the same opportunity for the students to have their chance to answer the questions. And I think that's the example lah. Yes.
So for my fourth question is, in your experience, do rewards or punishments have a more lasting impact on students' behavior?
Based on my very little experience in my teaching career as a teacher, I can say that I cannot determine whether the rewards can guarantee the long effects of in students' behavior. Means that if I always give them a rewards, they would be a very good students. It's not exactly like that, but it's like giving a temporary moment. When I give them rewards, they will be like very good. But if I don't give them any rewards, they will still be a good students. They will still actively participate in the class. But I noticed that if you give them some rewards, then they will become more active compared to when I didn't give them anything. They will be more like more quiet, or they will be like, oh, I'm sleepy in class. Yeah.
Okay. So how do you handle situations where a student becomes becomes reliant on rewards to stay motivated, and what strategies do you use to foster them motivation for genuinely wanting to learn?
Yeah. Yeah. So for that questions, actually, to give them reward constantly but it's a bit pricey or money consuming, right? So I cannot always give them reward because as a new novice teacher, of course, I'm not that stable yet. So instead of giving them like sweets, the rewards can also be can be conveyed by giving them such good words, or you can praise them like, oh, when you participate in class every, oh, very you did a very good job. And we might not notice that instantly, but by time there will be you will notice a difference in their behavior. By you will notice that when students will try to answer questions in the next class, I mean, maybe that kind of encouragement helps them to motivate themselves. Yeah.
How about, have you found that certain types of students respond differently to rewards and punishments?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
Have you found that certain types of students, for example, their age, their personality, and their learning styles, respond differently to rewards and punishments? And could you describe some examples?
Okay, I think in my class, some students can be uh, they can be categorized in a few groups, such as the smart, the bright groups, the middle one, and the less bright group. So I noticed that when I'm giving attention to the bright group, they're going to be so loud in class. They will be sometimes they will outshine the other students. So when that happen in my class, I will not asking them to ask question, or I will not giving them chance to ask question. Instead, I will focus more on the less opportunity students, so that they will have a chance to answer the question. So they will not feel left behind, or they will be not feel small compared to the bright students. And their personalities sometimes, yeah, will affect how they react to the rewards. For example, the quiet students, when I give them praises, they will become shy or blushing. But by time they will become braver than before, they will be able to respond to my questions. They will be able to speak in front of their classmates, and they also can uh, do presentation. That that was the things that I noticed in the class.
Good answer. So, how about my seventh question is, how do you think the relationship between you and your students influences the effectiveness of rewards and punishments?
So when we talk about relationship, okay, actually, so as I am still be called as cikgu muda, so I have the age gap between me and my students not that big. So if I can be honest with you, the students, uh, they they treat me as a friend, and I don't mind about it at all. So we have a very close relationship, if you want to know. And sometimes I will go out with my students having coffee or tea time together. So uh, with that, a strong bond between me and my students, it kind of helped me to um, it kind of helped me to get close to them and know what are their problems with their studies, or if they have problems with English especially, I can notice that problem earlier, and I think that's all.
Good answer. Now, my eighth question would be, have you noticed any differences in how your students respond to rewards versus punishments?
Yeah. The students really okay. As I mentioned before, the students really like when I give them a reward, sweets, cash, or whatsoever. Compared to punishments, I used to give them punishments such as if I can say this in this interview, I will oh my god, it's like too big. Or I will ask them to stand in class, or I will ask them to come to the front and stand in front of the classmates. So it's not that embarrassing for them because I never did something of a over because I know that students nowadays they don't really like that kind of punishments, and it's not very efficient though because it kind of hurting their pride, right? If we give them some kind of embarrassing punishment. So if I only ask them to stand or to come to the front and sing some song, it's not like a punishment for them. They like to do it, and but at the same time they will bear in mind not to repeat the same mistake again, such as they forgot to complete their task, or they forgot to bring their book. So I asked them to stand, and after that they will not repeat the same mistakes again. So I think it's kind of helping me to overcome the problem.
I see. So, how do you address situations where rewards or punishments seem to lose their effectiveness?
Um, I want to emphasize about the punishments. I think punishments are not that effective anymore when they are getting older. Okay, when I teach my Form 1 students, the punishments seems very effective because they are afraid of me because I am a teacher and they are the students. So they kind of respect me, or they're kind of afraid of me. So when I become mad or I give them punishments, they will become afraid, or they will not do the same mistake for quite a long time. So the gap is a bit longer, but when I teach my Form 3 students, because they feel that they are older, they are more matured, so the effectiveness of the punishments become more shortened. It means it's not effective anymore like for the Form 1 students because they are not afraid of me, I guess. Because they think, okay, teacher is so kind. She's not mad. She's just kidding with us. So maybe the thing is like that. And uh, even though they are like that, but they still respect me. So I think that's it.
Now, for my final question is, in your opinion, what is the ideal way to motivate students for sustained engagement and long-term learning?
Okay, in my opinion, the most ideal way to motivate students for sustained engagement and long-term learning is by giving them good words. I mean, when you give them good words like uh words of encouragement or praises, it kind of they kind of gonna memorize that praises for a long time because I have this one student. He is very weak in English. So but in my class, he's really shy and couldn't dare to talk. But when he texted me, said that, Teacher, I am very shy to say this, but I am very weak in English. So I give him I gave him words of motivation, and it seems to help him a lot in my class. He seems to be more confident. So I think the best way to help the students in their learning process for a long term is by giving them good words, because it gonna stays longer than giving them any kind of rewards. I think that is based on my experience lah, and that is my opinion. Okay, that's all.